The Young and the Restless spoilers. Audra fakes Demise and frames Claire. Forces criminal consequences. The Young and the Restless, YNR. Spoilers hint that Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, may fake her demise and frame Claire Newman, Haley Aaron. Will Audra force criminal consequences as this rivalry heats up? YNR fans know Audra has repeatedly accused Claire of being homicidal and out of control. After Claire's decision to throttle Audra in front of everyone at Society, she's got some good evidence of that. Of course, Audra slapped Claire first and provoked her, but it seemed like it unlocked something truly menacing inside Claire. The part of Claire that was trained by Jordan, Colleen Zank, is still lurking underneath the surface. Now that Audra and Claire's feud is intensifying, Audra has no intention of cowering in the corner. Audra made that crystal clear to Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, despite his attempts to get her to stay out of Claire's way. Claire and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, have teamed up on Audra's takedown, which will involve Audra's shady Los Angeles history if everything goes Claire's way. However, Claire runs the risk of pushing Audra too far, which could result in Audra using Claire's past against her, too. Audra constantly reminds Claire that she tried to wipe out her own family and acts like she's still got one foot in the psychiatric ward. Since Audra brings that up all the time, she may decide to make it look like Claire's committed a serious crime against her. Claire laid the groundwork for that by grabbing Audra by the throat in a public place. If Audra fakes her demise and makes sure the clues point in Claire's direction, she could stir up major trouble for her. Claire could face criminal charges depending on how this all plays out. Audra might have good reasons to disappear if Claire discovers the rest of the LA story she buried. Between that and Audra's desire for revenge, she might fake her demise and try to get Claire arrested. Naturally, Audra could get busted sooner or later. Claire's name could be cleared in the end, but it'd be fun to watch all the twists and turns in the meantime. As a bonus, Cal could stand by Claire through it all and earn his boyfriend status back. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire and Audra's conflict will lead to some shocking news and more heated moments. Today's shocking YNR spoilers exposed. Audra fakes demise and frames Claire, forcing criminal consequences. The line in the sand, a feud explodes in Genoa City. The tension between the ruthless, social-climbing Audra Charles and the volatile, newly redeemed Claire Newman has been a low-burning fuse on the Young and the Restless. For months, their rivalry has been a desperate tug-of-war for Kyle Abbott's fleeting attention, for Nate Hastings' conflicted heart, and for a coveted, powerful seat at the executive table in Genoa City. Audra, driven by her hunger for wealth and status, views Claire as a soft, entitled Newman princess who stands in the way of her ambitions. Claire, haunted by her dark past and desperately trying to prove her redemption, sees Audra as the living embodiment of the manipulation and duplicity she's fighting to escape. Their conflict has simmered, escalating from icy boardroom stares to public, explosive confrontations, the most recent being the alarming physical fight at Society, where Claire, in a moment of raw, unbridled rage, put her hands around Audra's throat. That singular, terrifying act, witnessed by a shaken Holden Novak and the watchful eyes of Genoa City's elite, didn't just mark a new level of aggression, it laid the foundation for the ultimate, devastating betrayal. It was the perfect, damning evidence Audra Charles would need for the masterstroke of her career, a plan so audacious, so cruelly calculated, it would secure her fortune and destroy her enemy in a single fatal blow. Chapter 1. The Architect of Deception. Audra Charles is nothing if not a planner. The throat-grabbing incident was not a setback for her, it was a gift. As Holden nervously checked her neck for bruises, Audra's mind was racing, already spinning the scenario into a weapon. Her carefully cultivated image of the perpetually wronged woman, already used to manipulate Kyle and Nate, could be magnified tenfold. A simple framing wouldn't be enough. This was Audra Charles, and she was playing for all the chips. The fake demise plan wasn't conceived overnight, but rather meticulously executed in the days following the physical altercation. She knew the eyes of Genoa City were on her, on Claire, and on the escalating feud. The setup. The escape route. Audra quietly, using a shell corporation she set up while working for Victor Newman, purchased a small, private villa on a secluded island in the South Pacific. She transferred a substantial, untraceable amount of money, her emergency fund, into an offshore account. The go bag. She packed only essentials, passports, cash, and a burner phone. Her only confidant, a mysterious, unnamed contact with a shadowy past, possibly a returning character with a score to settle in Genoa City, was tasked to the final, critical set of instructions. The bait, the climax of the setup, involved a fabricated meeting. Audra sent an anonymous, untraceable text message to Claire, claiming to have damning, irrefutable proof of an enormous financial scandal involving a Newman family member. Proof that would finally expose Victor Newman's latest AI scheme and cripple his empire. The meeting place, a remote, abandoned lakeside cabin that once belonged to a disgraced figure from Genoa City's past. A place with no witnesses, no cameras, and a disturbing history. Claire, ever the fiercely protective Newman, and desperate to prove her worth to her family by ending Victor's dangerous AI games, took the bait without a second thought. She saw it as her chance for true redemption, to be the hero her mother, Victoria, always wanted her to be. Chapter 2. The Night of the Vanishing. The stormy night Audra chose for her vanishing act was perfect. Sheets of rain, cracking thunder, and a power outage that crippled the limited surveillance cameras on the Newman Ranch periphery. Claire arrived at the cabin, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and righteous determination. The cabin was dark, save for a single flickering lantern on a wooden table. A single ominous message was scrawled on a dusty mirror in what appeared to be lipstick. "You win, but you will pay." Suddenly, a loud, muffled thump echoed from a back room, followed by the sound of breaking glass. Claire, armed only with her phone, cautiously approached. She found the room empty, a window shattered, and Audra's silk scarf snagged on a shard of glass, dragging a small smear of what looked chillingly like blood. In that moment, a pre-recorded message from Audra's burner phone blasted from a hidden speaker. "If you're hearing this, Claire, it means you finally crossed the line. You were right about me, but you didn't just kill my career. You killed me, and you will spend the rest of your life paying for it. Have fun behind bars, princess." Before Claire could process the terrifying message, the mysterious contact Audra had hired slipped into the cabin, masked, and began their final damning task. They had been observing the entire exchange from a distance. The framing evidence. The weapon, a heavy, personalized bronze paperweight, a gift Claire's mother, Victoria, had given her, was carefully placed next to the shattered glass, wiped clean of Audra's fingerprints but conveniently displaying Claire's. The threat log, a printout of old, heated text messages between Audra and Claire, showing Claire's most enraged threats, was scattered on the floor, heavily edited to paint Audra as the cowering victim. The DNA, a few strands of Audra's hair, which she'd been collecting for weeks, were planted in a small, concealed crevice in the wall, suggesting a violent struggle. The alibi killer. The contact ensured that a local gas station attendant, a known gossip, saw Claire's car speeding away from the cabin just as the storm hit its peak. The contact vanished into the woods, leaving Claire standing in the middle of a meticulously staged crime scene, phone in hand, the blood-stained scarf at her feet, and the chilling words of Audra's message echoing in her ears. Chapter 3. The shockwave hits Genoa City. The next morning, the news hit Genoa City like a Category 5 hurricane. The police discovered the scene, the evidence, and the chilling, cryptic note. The word Demise was everywhere. Paul Williams, the former police chief who often returns to assist in complex cases, was immediately called in by an enraged Victor Newman, who viewed Audra's disappearance as a personal attack on his corporate alliances. Claire Newman, suspect number 1. The police, with a compelling narrative handed to them on a silver platter, quickly zeroed in on Claire. Motive. Everyone knew about the toxic feud, culminating in the violent, public, choking incident just days prior. Claire had a history of rage-fueled behavior. Her past as a villain was still fresh in everyone's mind. Opportunity. The damning text message placing her at the remote location. Evidence. The personalized paperweight, the threatening text logs, the scarf, and the eyewitness, the gas station attendant, who confirmed her hasty exit from the area. Victoria Newman, Nick Newman, and Nikki Newman immediately mobilized, attempting to defend their terrified, bewildered daughter. Victoria's boardroom demeanor crumbled as she fought for Claire's innocence, while Nick's protective instincts flared, putting him at odds with the investigators. Victor, though outwardly supporting his family, remained disturbingly neutral, viewing the turmoil as an unfortunate but useful distraction from his own scandals. Chapter 4. The Criminal Consequences and the Mastermind's Glee. Claire was brought in for questioning. The grilling was brutal. Paul Williams and Detective Chance Chancellor, torn between their past relationships with the Newman family and the clear-cut evidence, presented a terrifying case for manslaughter or murder. We have an eyewitness, Claire. We have a motive. We have your recorded threat and a struggle where your DNA is all over the apparent murder weapon. Paul stated gravely, I was lured there. Audra set me up. She vanished to frame me. Claire pleaded, her fear turning to frantic desperation. Her denial sounded thin, almost hysterical, against the weight of the staged truth. The police prepared to take the next step, the formal filing of charges. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away on a sunny, private beach, Audra Charles was sipping a cocktail under a cabana, watching the Genoa City news feed on her tablet. A smug, satisfied smile curled her lips as the screen showed the headline, Newman heiress questioned in Audra Charles vanishing. Charges imminent. Her plan had worked perfectly. Claire would be consumed by the Newman family's lawyers and the crushing burden of a criminal trial, effectively neutralized and disgraced. Audra was free, not just of her rival, but of her debt to Victor, of Nate, and of her own precarious position in Genoa City. She had successfully exchanged a life of ambitious striving for a life of serene, untraceable wealth. Chapter 5. The Cracks in the Facade. The drama, however, is far from over. No scheme this grand in Genoa City remains airtight for long. Kyle Abbott's suspicion. Kyle, who knows Audra's manipulative ways better than anyone, is instantly skeptical. He refuses to believe Audra is truly dead. His own desperation to protect Claire, coupled with his desire for revenge on Audra for the earlier setup, will drive him to investigate the supposed crime scene more closely, possibly uncovering the hidden speaker and the pre-recorded message. Holden Novak's conscience. Holden, who witnessed the initial physical assault, is deeply troubled. He saw Audra's cold, calculating demeanor immediately after the fight and may recall a detail that throws the police timeline and Claire's motive into doubt. The unnamed contact, the mysterious accomplice, is the single greatest risk. Their identity remains a massive mystery. Could they be a vengeful ex-lover? A former business partner Audra double-crossed? A returning character from Claire's past? Perhaps even the original villain, Jordan, who wants to see Claire suffer again. The stage is now set for a gripping, high-stakes trial where Claire Newman's future hangs in the balance. Will the evidence Audra meticulously planted be enough to send a member of the Newman dynasty to prison? Or will Kyle and Holden, operating outside the law, manage to uncover the crucial piece of evidence, a flight log, a receipt from the island villa, or the identity of the accomplice, that proves Audra Charles is not dead, but a ghost with a bank account ready to be exposed in the most dramatic courtroom reveal of the year? The fate of two powerful women, and the fragile peace of the Newman family, now rests on a flimsy silk scarf and the terrifying realization that in Genoa City, one must always watch their back, especially when facing the most dangerous rival of all, a woman with nothing left to lose. What's next for Genoa City? Will Kyle and Holden join forces to dig for the truth, putting them both in Audra's crosshairs? Will Victor use this scandal to quietly eliminate other rivals while the city is distracted? Will Claire be formally arrested and sent to prison, forcing her family to go to war to save her? Young and the Restless spoilers. Matt strikes back on New Year's Eve. Midnight chaos erupts for Newmans? The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers hint that Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, may strike back on New Year's Eve. Will some midnight chaos erupt for the Newmans on what should have been a celebratory night? Victor Newman, Eric Braden, yanked control of the shadow room away from Matt and left his finances in an abysmal state. Now that Matt's lost everything, he's determined to reclaim it by going after some unexpected leverage on the Newman clan. We know that Matt will indeed hit Genoa City in the not-too-distant future. However, YNR spoilers also make it seem like the Newmans will make it through Christmas unscathed. Victor and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, will learn a heartwarming lesson involving the holiday spirit. So it sounds like some warm fuzzies are on the way for the Newman family. It should serve as the calm before the storm that Matt's promised to unleash. Since Christmas should hopefully go off without a hitch, perhaps we should look to the next holiday as the ideal time for Matt to strike back. New Year's Eve sounds like the perfect opportunity for Matt to kick off the next round of drama. Viewers will recall that the show delivered some wild stuff for New Year's Eve in 2024. That was when Ian Ward, Ray Wise, drugged Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Jordan, Colleen Zank, chloroformed Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, as part of a kidnapping plot. Maybe YNR will stick with the theme of mayhem breaking out on New Year's Eve by having Matt target the Newmans on the final night of 2025. It makes sense for Matt to make some bold moves while everyone's distracted with parties. If Matt intends to pull off some kidnappings or even set up some explosive devices, this may be his chance to work on all that. Whatever the case, the midnight countdown could actually become a countdown to more Matt turmoil this year. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Matt will bring terrible news with him when he returns to Genoa City. So stay tuned for updates on all his dirty tricks. Today's shocking news. Midnight chaos erupts. Matt Clark strikes back on New Year's Eve, plunging the Newman family into utter darkness. As the world prepares to ring in the new year with champagne toasts and joyous resolutions, the Newman family in Genoa City is about to be violently reminded that, for them, the ghosts of the past never truly die. They only wait for the stroke of midnight to strike. Recent, earth-shattering spoilers for the Young and the Restless confirm the return of the most dangerous and unhinged villain in Newman history, Matt Clark. Having been seemingly defeated and financially crippled by the combined might of Victor Newman's iron fist and his cutting-edge AI weapon, Matt, who had been operating as the menacing Mitch Bacall, was presumed to be licking his wounds in the shadows. But Matt Clark does not lick his wounds, he hones his revenge. The whispers from the CBS set are not just rumors. They are a terrifying warning. Matt Clark is confirmed to make a cataclysmic return on New Year's Eve, not in the familiar corporate battlegrounds of Newman Enterprises, but deep inside the heart of the family's most sacred haven. This is no corporate raid. It is a meticulously planned, deeply personal, and potentially deadly night of reckoning. Act 1. The false calm before the storm. The stage is set at the Newman Ranch, where Nikki and Victor are hosting the annual opulent New Year's Eve gala. For the first time in weeks, a fragile peace has settled over the family. Nick and Sharon are home. Their terrifying ordeal in Los Angeles, which involved Matt holding their son Noah captive, finally over. Noah has even brought his new flame, Sienna, under the protective shield of the Newman Empire, a move that, in hindsight, might be a catastrophic error. The Newmans are basking in their perceived victory. Matt is missing, his assets frozen, his network dismantled. Victor, ever the patriarch, believes he has successfully neutralized the threat. He stands tall, glass of Dom Perignon in hand, surveying his kingdom, momentarily blind to the cardinal rule of Genoa City. No one is truly defeated, only delayed. Meanwhile, Matt Clark, driven into a state of psychopathic fury by Victor's digital strike, is not hiding. He's been operating on a parallel track, using his last remaining resources to secure one final, devastating piece of leverage. The search for the missing villain has been focused on his financial and criminal contacts, utterly missing the single, twisted link that binds Matt to his original trauma, his decades-old obsession with Sharon and Nick. Act 2. The Midnight Breach, a terrifying new guest. As the clock ticks toward midnight, the Genoa City Athletic Club, GTD, is abuzz with activity. Michael and Lauren are celebrating their anniversary, while Jack, Kyle, and Diane try to navigate the simmering tensions of the Abbott-Newman War. But the real danger is miles away at the Newman Ranch, where the masked revelry is about to take a sinister turn. The spoiler's most shocking detail: Matt Clark does not arrive through the front door. He is revealed to have already infiltrated the property, possibly disguised among the catering staff or utilizing a hidden access point only a former, obsessive resident would know. The chaos begins not with a bang, but with a sudden, eerie silence. The security system, Victor's trusted high-tech fortress, mysteriously goes offline seconds before the final 10-second countdown to the new year. Suddenly, all eyes are on the massive bay windows of the living room as the lights flicker and die. Victor, you thought a firewall could stop the flames of my revenge? Foolish old man. A disembodied voice, amplified through the estate's failing sound system, echoes across the room, instantly recognizable to Nick and Sharon. It's Matt Clark. Panic erupts among the minor guests, but the Newmans, battle-hardened and terrified, know this is their fight. Victor, reaching for a forgotten wall safe, finds it empty. His priceless files, his contingency plans, and his backup weapon are gone. Matt has turned Victor's security against him. Act 3. The New Year's Nightmare, Leverage and Betrayal. Matt appears, stepping out of the shadows, no longer Mitch Bacall, but the original, chillingly calm Matt Clark, his eyes burning with a 24-year-old vendetta. He holds a remote device, the final piece of leverage Victor never saw coming. The midnight hostage, the ultimate twist? Matt's revenge is not just aimed at Victor. It's aimed at shattering the core foundation of Nick and Sharon's lives. Spoilers hint that Matt has orchestrated a complex scenario involving both Noah and Sienna. The Sienna trap. Matt reveals that Sienna's escape to Genoa City was not an accident. It was part of his ultimate plan. Her role in his life as Mitch's wife was a final, elaborate performance. Is Sienna a pawn, or is she Matt's willing accomplice, a sleeper agent planted deep within the Newman safe house? The scene implies Sienna's horrified reaction might be an act, planting a seed of doubt that will destroy Noah's trust. The digital bomb the remote Matt holds is not for a physical bomb. It's a terrifying application of Kane's stolen AI. Victor used the AI to destroy Matt's finances. Matt is now poised to use it to erase a critical piece of Newman history. All records of Newman Media's recent acquisitions, including the evidence of Victor's own questionable past dealings. Pressing the button would not just crash the company, it would unleash a wave of legal and corporate fallout that could put Nick and Adam in prison, effectively destroying the Newman legacy from the inside. The showdown. Sharon, immediately channeling her trauma, steps forward to confront Matt, using the compassion that is her trademark strength. Nick holds her back, his face a mask of primal rage. Nick, Joshua Morrow, it's me you want, Matt. Let them go. This is between us. Matt, Roger Howarth, a chilling smile. Oh, Nick, you're right. It is you. But a wound this deep, it needs more than just a bullet. It needs a legacy to burn. Act 4. Chaos, confusion, and the cliffhanger. As Matt prepares to press the button, Victor Newman, the great man, makes a desperate, uncharacteristic move. Instead of a physical fight, he tries to reason with Matt, offering him the very power he craves. A small, untraceable country, a vast fortune, and a clean slate. Matt hesitates, not because of the offer, but because of a distraction. A commotion by the window. The final twist, the redhead factor spoilers strongly suggest that the commotion is caused by an unexpected intervention. and all signs point to the one person who knows how to operate in the gray area between the Newman and Abbott worlds. Phyllis Summers. Having been involved in the Kane/AI storyline and always protecting her children, Phyllis may have been on high alert, tracking the movement of the rogue AI. She saw the Newman security system fail and came to the ranch, not to help Victor, but to mitigate the collateral damage to her own family. The resulting confusion is Matt's undoing and, simultaneously, his final move. Phyllis's interference. Phyllis attempts to hack a nearby tablet, trying to override the AI's kill switch, drawing Matt's attention away from the remote. The fateful moment. In the struggle, Matt is forced to make a snap decision. He doesn't destroy the financial records, but instead he plunges the room into complete darkness, triggering a massive electrical surge across the property. The New Year's midnight, a deafening roar, a flash of blue light, and the entire Newman ranch goes dark. The final seconds of the year tick by in silent, utter chaos. When the emergency lights flicker back on, Matt is gone. The AI threat is neutralized, but for how long? A major Newman character is injured and possibly unconscious near the surge point. The identity of the injured character is the week's terrifying cliffhanger. Is it Nick who rushed Matt? Is it Victor, who took the brunt of the electrical discharge? Or is it Sienna, whose true role is now more ambiguous and dangerous than ever? Epilogue, a dark beginning. The ball has dropped in a cascade of destruction. The new year does not begin with celebration, but with a police investigation, a trauma unit on high alert, and the chilling realization that Matt Clark is now an untraceable, feral enemy operating deep inside Genoa City, no longer obsessed with money, but with pure, visceral revenge. The Young and the Restless writers have given fans a New Year's Eve shockwave that will reverberate for months. The Matt Clark storyline is not over. It has just moved from the corporate boardroom to the darkest corridors of the Newman family's home, setting the stage for a brutal, long-term siege in the new year. Genoa City will never be the same. What happens next? The hunt for Matt Clark begins anew, with Victor, Nick, and the entire GSPD on a desperate manhunt. But with Sienna now under their roof, is the greatest threat not outside, but a Trojan horse that has already breached the gates? Which Newman will pay the ultimate price for Victor's pride? And what is Sienna's final, chilling secret? The Young and the Restless spoilers Thursday, December 11th. Lily wants Kane again. Sharon interrogates shady Sienna. The Young and the Restless YNR spoilers for Thursday, December 11th reveal that Lily Winters, Crystal Caliel, will reverse her Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, decision while Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, interrogates shady Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. At the cottage, Sharon will take this opportunity to put Sienna through a grilling session now that they're alone. Sienna's motives will be questioned when it comes to Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, and what she really hopes to gain from their connection. Sharon may worry that Sienna is just using Noah like Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, used him, albeit in a less monstrous way. Sienna indeed accepted Noah's offer of protection in Genoa City, but she may assure Sharon that she's not a gold digger who's trying to worm her way into the Newman clan. Noah and Sienna bonded because they actually have a lot in common. Sienna may give Sharon updates on that and admit she genuinely likes her son, but it's not like they're in a serious relationship at this point. Even so, Sharon will likely warn Sienna to be careful with Noah's heart since he's been burned by too many women already. One of those women was Audra Charles Zuleika Silver, so Noah's latest encounter with her will be an uncomfortable one. Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, may eventually intervene and give Noah an excuse to wiggle out of all the awkwardness at the GCSE. Afterward, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, will track Audra down and apparently patch things up with her following their recent tension. Audra and Holden are on the verge of reaching a deal, so they may agree to work together and stop Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, from exposing the rest of their dirty secrets. Other YNR spoilers say Lily will sit down with Kane at Crimson Lights, where they'll discuss the Abbott Communications launch party. After Lily confesses that she's going, she'll assume it'll be dull, and will basically predict she'll have a lousy time. Kane will offer a way to liven up the night and will suggest they could go together. Although Lily may be a bit wary about taking Kane as her party date, he may convince her that he's truly put Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, behind him. Kane might insist he was only playing Phyllis in hopes that she'd admit she stole the AI program. Now that Kane is going after Phyllis for revenge, that could leave Lily feeling a little better about the situation. Whatever the case, Lily will change her way of thinking when it comes to Kane on Thursday's Y&R episode. We'll see a reversal of heart for Lily, who may cave in on Kane's +1 idea and reconsider their potential future. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily will give Kane some hopeful news. So stay tuned to see his reaction. Today's shocking news. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Thursday, December 11th. Lily wants Kane again. The Lane reunion fans never thought they'd see. Genoa City is about to be rocked to its core. Thursday, December 11th, 2025, on The Young and the Restless is slated to deliver a seismic shift in two of the most volatile storylines currently gripping Genoa City. The Lane faithful are holding their breath as Lily Winter's Crystal Khalil has a monumental change of heart about Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, potentially paving the way for a reunion that has been off limits for far too long. Meanwhile, a protective mother is on the warpath as Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, directly confronts the shady Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, demanding answers about her intentions toward Noah. Lily's unthinkable U-turn, the Kane factor. Lily Winters has been a fortress of resolve when it comes to her ex-husband, Kane Ashby. Despite his recent chaotic return, his association with questionable dealings, and the unsettling AI situation that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, is weaponizing, Lily has held firm. Their romance is in the past. But according to tomorrow's spoilers, that ironclad resolve is about to melt. The shocking spoiler, Lily has a change of heart about Kane. This single line is the equivalent of a bombshell exploding in Genoa City. What could have possibly transpired to make the pragmatic, sharp CEO of Chancellor Winters reconsider the man who has caused her so much heartache and controversy? The path to reconsideration. Sources suggest Kane, having been recently backed into a corner by Victor and facing an ongoing clash with the perpetually schemy Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, has made a crucial move that touches Lily. He recently formed a mysterious new alliance, which could be a noble, protective gesture aimed at safeguarding Lily and their family from the collateral damage of his business with Victor. A grand gesture. Did Kane risk his own neck or his company, Arabesque, to protect something vital to Lily? The power of family. Kane's unwavering focus on their children, Charlie and Maddie, and his constant plea to be a unified family again, may have finally worn down Lily's defenses. The shared history. As the Abbott Communications launch party approaches, Kane extended an olive branch, inviting Lily to attend with him. While Lily initially saw it as tedious and boring, the simple, hopeful gesture of Kane wanting to stand beside her might be the catalyst for her change of heart. Is this a full forgiveness? Likely not yet. A change of heart suggests she is finally softening toward him, willing to see past the recent betrayals and recognize the core of the man she once loved. A Lane reunion is no longer just a fan fantasy, it's now a very real possibility, and it will be the talk of Genoa City. Sharon's interrogation, the shady Sienna. On the other side of town, the drama is spiking to dangerous levels at the Newman Ranch, where mother's instinct has been triggered. Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, is taking matters into her own hands to protect her son, Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, who recently brought his friend, Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, to Genoa City for safety. The mystery of Sienna. Sienna arrived under a cloud of intense danger, fleeing her ex, the manipulative and highly dangerous Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, aka Mitch Bacall. She has been open about the stakes. Until Mitch is dead or he's behind bars, nobody's safe, especially me. Noah has promised Sienna sanctuary, but that's not good enough for Sharon. She sees the danger swirling around her son, and she knows that sometimes the most immediate threat isn't the one you run from, but the one you run with. The shocking spoiler, Sharon questions Sienna's intentions. Alone at the cottage, Sharon will seize the opportunity to give Sienna a thorough grilling. The mother's eye, Sharon is hyper-aware of Matt Clark's sinister nature and fears Sienna might be a decoy, a pawn, or worse, a willing participant in a larger scheme targeting the Newman family. A romantic threat. Sienna and Noah are growing close, and Sharon has to wonder if Sienna is truly interested in Noah or just using him for the Newman protection, or even if she's working against them. The line of fire. Sharon knows that by protecting Sienna, Noah has put a target on his back. Her questioning is a desperate attempt to assess the threat level and determine if she needs to call in Nick, Joshua Morrow, for more aggressive action. The confrontation. Expect this scene to be electric. Sienna, who has been through hell, will likely face Sharon's fierce cross-examination with a mix of defiance and exhaustion. Will Sharon's interrogation confirm her worst fears, or will Sienna's genuine distress convince her that she is an ally, not an enemy? The future safety of Noah and the rest of the Newman clan hangs in the balance. The deal maker, Audra and Holden. In a parallel plot of high-stakes corporate and personal maneuvering, Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, is feeling the heat. With her career hanging by a thread and her past connection with Noah recently surfacing, Audra is desperate to gain an advantage. The shocking spoiler, Audra cuts a deal with Holden. The identity of Holden is shrouded in mystery, but sources suggest this is a character with ties to the complex, dangerous plot involving Claire Grace, Haley Aaron, and the relentless pursuit of power. Audra has been pressuring Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, but clearly needs a new angle. The deal's high cost, targeting Claire. Audra desperately wants to undermine Claire, and this deal with Holden is likely a move to expose or discredit her. Personal leverage. Is Holden someone from Audra's history, perhaps a business associate or an ex who can provide dirt or a crucial favor? A risky alliance. Audra's deals are notorious for coming with a high price tag. Teaming up with someone like Holden, especially with Victor's latest moves against Jack, Peter Bergman, could place Audra in the crosshairs of Genoa City's most powerful players. This subplot is critical, as it weaves together the current corporate war at Chabot with the ongoing danger from Matt Clark, proving that in Genoa City, all the threads of drama are connected. The fallout, what comes next? Thursday's episode is not just a stepping stone. It's a dramatic pivot point that will define the rest of the week. The Lily and Cain aftermath. If Lily is truly ready to let Cain back in, this will undoubtedly ignite a full-scale battle with Phyllis Summers. Spoilers for Friday confirm that Phyllis will be pushing Cain's buttons, clearly attempting to torpedo any chance of a Lane reunion. Cain's recent alliance could be the very thing that Phyllis targets, making Lily question her change of heart almost immediately. Nick's protective rage. Sharon's interrogation of Sienna is just the start. The immediate danger surrounding Noah and Sienna is so intense that Nick Newman will be forced to take extreme measures. Friday's spoilers reveal Nick taking matters into his own hands to protect Sharon, an ominous sign that the Sienna/Matt Clark threat escalates into a direct, physical confrontation. Did Sharon's interrogation fail? Did Sienna reveal a shocking truth? Or did Matt Clark find a way to strike at the Newman family through Sienna?